The first video we're gonna do is this is one of your guys' suggestions. We are going to do 9 fuel myths stupid people fall for that you're wasting your money on. Okay, Rygat suggested this one. So this is what we're gonna start with, and we got one more after this. So let us see what fuel myths stupid people fall for. Are we ready?
You've probably heard fuel tips from friends, strangers, or even online experts. From magic gas-saving gadgets to premium fuel fairy tales, the world is packed with fuel myths that drivers swear by, and their wallets suffer for it. In this video, we're busting 10 of the dumbest fuel myths stupid people fall for. One might...
I wonder if one of those is going to be the one about the mid-grade gasoline that I've talked about in the past. Yeah.
Be quietly draining your wallet every time you hit the pump. Buckle up because we're about to separate fact from fiction. Myth number 10, turning off the AC saves gas mileage. Modern air conditioners are surprisingly fuel efficient.
Yes, they are.
Their impact on gas mileage is minimal. Rolling down your windows seems like a solution. However, this creates aerodynamic drag at higher speeds. Drag forces the engine to work hard.
Yeah, you're right. So, video title fail. There's 10 myths, but they said only 9. Oh, although maybe they may debate us. They may pull a debate on the end. I'm pretty sure of this whole thing about the air conditioner usage. I want to say Mythbusters may have done this. I think Mythbusters may have actually tackled this in some way. I can't remember. I do know they did the one where it was the whole myth of every time you get to a stop. I know one that I recall from them is every time you get to a stoplight, you turn your car off, and then when the stoplight changes to green, then you start your car, and then you go. They did what with pickup trucks? The air conditioning? I thought that they did the air conditioning myth too. I thought. Now, the one where, like, you turn, like, oh, the tailgating one. Okay, that's not this. This is not tailgating. Yo, not tailgating. Okay, Grumpy, you're talking about drafting. You're talking about drafting, and I do believe, if I'm remembering correctly, the drafting myth actually did work. But you had to be precise with your positioning, so the level of precision necessary didn't make it viable. I can't remember if they did this one with the AC and the windows. They might have, but I can't recall.
Harder, burning more fuel.
Tailgate up or down.
At city speeds, the effect is barely noticeable. On highways, though, the drag becomes a serious issue. Using the AC might actually save fuel. Open windows are less efficient at high speeds. Driving with no AC and closed windows on a hot day is torture. Your car will turn into a sauna, and your driving experience will be anything but pleasant. Fortunately, modern AC systems don't guzzle gas like before. This means you can stay comfortable without worrying. Choose AC over open windows for better fuel efficiency.
Yeah.
Your ride will be cooler and more economical. Myth number 9, manual transmissions always save gas.
Okay, this one I have heard myself. I would actually argue that manual transmissions, if driven by someone that is not skilled at manual transmission, is actually worse on gas, because someone that is not familiar with how to drive a manual transmission properly may keep it in a lower gear for longer, and instead of upshifting when they should, and thus the RPMs go higher, and thus you're burning gas faster. Whereas a skilled driver, if they're skilled at shifting, they can keep their RPMs low, thus your fuel efficiency is better. That's what I'm guessing he's gonna say. Yes, Ribbon, I'm very good at working a stick. I know just the right way to grip it, just the proper amount of grip. I know to give it a little bit of a wiggle before I just shove it right into the proper slot. And it's ooh, a bonk and a cage? Oh, chat, you're spoiling me today. um, for a better time, absolutely, Silver. Yes. And here's the funny part: is with stick shifts. And yes, I can actually drive a stick shift car. I can. I know how to drive a manual transmission. But they don't really exist anymore. That's the thing, is like manual transmission has kind of gone the way of the dodo for most cars, except for people that are actively looking for one. So it's like kind of a moot point, honestly.
It's true that manual transmissions once had the upper hand in fuel efficiency. Back then, they were simpler and gave drivers more control over gas mileage. But that's no longer the case. Modern automatics have come a long way. With advanced features like continuously variable transmissions, CVTs,
yeah, certain ones,
and
that's why I said
dual clutch
actively looking
systems,
for them, Revin.
they can now match or even beat manuals in fuel efficiency. Here's why. Today's automatics use optimized gear ratios and smart electronics to make every drop of fuel count. In fact, studies show that many automatics outperform manuals at the pump. So, while driving stick might feel sporty, it doesn't guarantee better mileage anymore. The technology has evolved, and so has the way we save.
Not to mention, the majority of automatics these days actually come with a manual transmission mode. Yeah, Canito, I don't disagree. Manually shifting the transmission is fun. It's like you get a sense of power when you've got a manual transmission car and you are actually like, going for first and you're slamming it into, like, when you come off the line really fast and you're like slamming the car into second and then putting in a third and then slamming it back down into fourth. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. And but I was saying, most automatic transmission these days actually have, most automatic transmission these days actually come with a manual mode too. Like the majority of cars, you can actually put the drive into manual mode and manually shift the gears. It is that's kind of standard on a lot of modern cars. Same car, but only transmission is different. Manual one is 2 to 3. True. That is true, Homely. Manual transmissions always. I don't know if that's still the case, but it was. Yes, it did used to be. And I mean, yeah, it is fake manual mode because I've tried it before on other cars where you put it into the quote unquote manual mode, and when you get to a certain speed, the car will just upshift on its own without you doing the shift. So it is indeed a fake manual mode. Absolutely, it is.
Save gas. Myth number 8. Cruise control uses low fuel.
What?
Cruise control.
What? I have never heard of this myth before. Have you guys? I have not once ever heard of cruise control using less fuel. Cruise control by sheer logic uses the same amount of fuel as if you were manually accelerating. It's the thing. Like, I don't understand the logic of why someone would think that cruise control would use less fuel. It uses more? Why would you think it uses more? It's just yeah, but the level of varying pressure on the gas, accelerating manually versus using cruise control is so minimal, it's not going to make any difference in that respect. Like you, Canito, absolutely. And cruise control keeps the car at a more stable speed. But again, like what Zeb was saying, like the varying pressure on gas pedal when you are manually accelerating is so minimal. Unless you are one of those kind of people where you're just like, yo, hard acceleration, then he's back. Then hard acceleration, and then he's back. If you're constantly doing that, okay, sure, I could see cruise control being more fuel efficient in that respect. So, but for the average highway driver, cruise control is going to use the same gas as manual. Well, Canito, stop it. It's not a good way to drive.
Control is often seen as a fuel-saving hack, but it's not always true. While it does help maintain a steady speed on flat highways, it's not a
Very
magic
true, Zip
button
Ties.
for better fuel efficiency. The key factor here isn't the cruise control itself, it's how consistent your speed remains. On long, flat highways, it does a great job.
Sure.
It keeps your speed steady and avoids those little bursts of acceleration that waste fuel. But
Sure.
it gets tricky on hills. When you're driving uphill, cruise control tries to hold your set speed. That means it pushes the engine harder than necessary.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call a bit of bullshit on that one. Because if you are accelerating manually, you would also have to, push the engine harder on a hill. The same as cruise control does. Like cruise control is doing the same thing that you'd be doing manually. If you're driving up a hill, you are manually going to be applying more pressure to the accelerator to go up that hill and maintain your speed. It's the exact same thing cruise control is going to be doing. So it makes no difference if you're using. In fact, cruise control is probably, in this respect, cruise control probably be better for it because you will not be putting too much pressure on. Going up a hill, you are more inclined to put more pressure on the accelerator than is necessary to go faster. Whereas cruise control is actually using the proper amount of acceleration.
I can't drive 55.
So yeah, I'm disagreeing with this statement by this guy.
Speed. That means it pushes the engine
I'm disagreeing with
harder
this.
than necessary, burning extra fuel.
It's not
An
pushing it harder than
experienced
necessary.
driver, though, knows how to handle this better. They ease off the throttle on the climb and let gravity do the work on the way down.
That makes no fucking sense. That makes 0 sense whatsoever. Why would you ease off the accelerator on the climb? No, you don't do that. If you ease off the accelerator on the climb, you're going to drastically drop speed. And as far as like going downhill, yeah, if you're manually accelerating, yeah, you would ease off the accelerator. No, and that's not what he said. Listen.
An experienced driver, though, knows how to handle this better. They ease off the throttle on the climb and let
ease off the throttle on the climb. That's going uphill. And as far as going downhill, every cruise control vehicle I've ever driven, and I've used cruise control when I've gone up and down a hill, the cruise control also eases off the throttle, basically coasts when you're going downhill. The cruise control will also coast when gravity's kind of taking the wheel and you're moving fast enough that you don't need the acceleration. The cruise control literally will back off and coast you. So, I mean, Atanashi, maybe he meant the decline, but he couples that with with adding on to the end, coasting. I mean, hang on, let me hear it again.
Knows how to handle this better. They ease off the throttle on the climb and let gravity do the work on the way down.
Maybe he read the script wrong, and it should have been they ease off on the throttle at the crest of the hill and let gravity do the work. Yeah, okay. We'll go ahead and benefit of a doubt this and say that he meant to say on the decline. But again, the cruise control does allow for the vehicle to coast on a decline. If the car is moving faster than the cruise control's set speed, the cruise control will go into basically like a coast mode. And they've done that for years. Cruise control has done this for years. That if you're going downhill, it will basically coast you.
That smooth adjustment uses less fuel than the cruise control's rigid approach. But let's be honest, not everyone drives efficiently. Poor driving habits, like constant braking and sudden acceleration, waste far more fuel than cruise control ever could. In these cases, cruise control is the better option. Now, if you're an excellent driver, someone who reads the road,
I'm an excellent driver. I'm an excellent driver. It's time for Wapner. I'm an excellent driver. Beep, 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 beep. There's actually engine brakes downhill shadows? Really? Huh. If you allow cruise control to do it, you will drop out of an overdrive, increasing the engine load. This will also likely drop your lower kickdown, passing condition, all increase fuel consumption. Would that depend upon the model Chaos Hunter? Because I've had some that don't engine brake. Like, I'm pretty sure my current car, I'm pretty sure it does not engine brake. Because I've had, when I've gone downhill and I've had cruise control because I'm on a long drive, I've actually had to apply the brake because I'm going too fast. So I'm thinking my cruise control on my car does not engine brake. It doesn't downshift and engine brake when you're going downhill with cruise control engaged. So oh, Sips! Stop it! Meanie. I am an anime cat girl. Laws do not apply to me. Yes. Exactly.
adjusts for hills, and manages speed with precision, you'll almost always do better than cruise control. The trick is knowing when to trust the tech and when to take control yourself. If you find these tips useful, subscribe for more straight-to-the-point car advice. Your support fuels this channel and keeps the honest tips coming. Let's dive into the next one. Myth number 7. Topping off gets you more gas. Topping off your tank feels satisfying. You might think you're squeezing in extra fuel or hitting that perfect dollar amount.
No.
But here's the truth. It's a terrible idea. When the pump clicks off, your tank is full. Any extra gas doesn't go into your...
Yeah. Don't top it off because you are going to end up spilling. If you push past it, like, you may notice that there are like small holes on either side of your tank. Let me see if I can get a closer look. Hang on. Let me see if it, okay. Nope, that's a bad shot. It's hard to see, but there are like little holes on either side on the inside of the outlet here for your gas tank. If you get full, like even a little bit full, you'll often see fuel come out of these little spouts. They're like overrun spouts. And if you top it, if you try to overtop it, you're very likely going to spill out. Yeah, it is a bad idea. Now, one thing, I don't think you could damage the fuel pump, Revan. I honestly don't think. Wait. Are you talking about the gas pump or the car's fuel pump? If you're talking about the car's fuel pump, okay, that's something different. There is one consideration though, and I have experienced this, is that if the sensor on the gas nozzle is broken, it can click off before you're actually full, which puts you into a position of hat. Because I've seen this many times. The particularly in cold climates, uh, if the nozzle, like in cold climates, people often when they take the gas nozzle off the pump before they put it into their gas tank, they will like literally whack it on a tire or something because there might be like snow on the nozzle and they don't want to get snow into the gas tank. So they'll like beat the shit out of the gas nozzle to get the snow off of it instead of just like being a normal person and maybe lightly tapping it or getting a paper towel and wiping the snow off. And by doing that, they can damage the sensor, and thus it would cause the sensor to be extremely sensitive and trigger before your gas tank is full. And so now you're in a tricky spot where you have to try and guess it as best you can that your tank is full. If the gas pump is working as intended, yeah, run it until it clicks off. But if you're in one of these areas where you get heavy snow and people, especially the gruff, not so intelligent people that don't give a shit because it's not theirs, beat the shit out of the nozzle to get snow off of it before they put it in the tank, the nozzle itself, the sensors could be broken, and now you're in for a fun time.
It's a terrible idea. When the pump clicks off, your tank is full. Any extra gas doesn't go into your tank. It goes back into the pump or spills out. Worse, overfilling can damage your car's vapor recovery system. Modern cars have a charcoal canister designed to trap fuel vapors. These vapors are recycled and turned into usable fuel. But when you overfill, liquid fuel can flood this canister. Once the charcoal canister is damaged, your car can't control emissions properly. You'll notice reduced fuel efficiency and possible engine performance issues. There's also the problem of fuel expansion. Gas stored underground is cool, but once it's in your hot car, it heats up and expands. That excess fuel can leak out of the tank. You're not just wasting money.
That's not good.
You're creating a fire hazard. Spilled fuel is flammable and harmful to the environment. And let's not forget the mess. That spilled fuel can damage your car's paint. Gasoline is corrosive, and if left sitting on your car's surface, it can eat away at the clear coat. So, when the pump clicks, stop.
Yeah, you can pretty much identify someone that constantly overfills their car by the discolored streaks right below their dash cap. This is clearly a sign of someone that just like, I'm gonna get every fucking drop of gas that I can into my car. I'm sure you've probably seen more than a few cars that look like this. They either are streaked like this, or the paint is like bubbled up and peeled away. Well, I mean, Chaos Hunter, you can certainly make the argument about it was stupid to move the charcoal canisters, but it is what it is now. I was just thinking, I am kind of curious. Well, I don't think this would hurt Eki's soul or anything. This is not car repairs or any, very bad car repairs. I think Eki would be okay with this. There was one other one that I was thinking of. What was it? Oh, I do wonder if he's gonna go into, is it safe to fill up your car while it's running? That's one that I've heard before. Like, I used to work at a gas station, and one of the things that was a big one was if you see someone filling up their car with the car running, tell them to turn their car off because it was dangerous. It could cause, damage or something like that. I know it's not Kanito, but the corporation said it had to be done this way. Yeah.
Stop! Topping off risks damage, wastes fuel, and endangers safety. Myth number 6. Premium gas cleans the engine and gives better
I've heard of this
performance.
myth. I've
Premium
heard of
gas
this.
sounds fancy, right? Better fuel, better performance, cleaner engine. At least, that's what the ads say. Well, if your car doesn't require premium fuel, you're just wasting money.
Yep.
Premium
Doesn't
fuel
do a
has
fucking
one
thing.
main advantage, a higher octane.
Wait. What? Which part's illegal? Which parts are illegal? What are you referring to? It's illegal in most states. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like which fueling with the engine running. Fueling with the engine running is illegal in most states. Really? That's considered illegal. Is it because of the reasons that I was always told, which is that, you know, that basically you could cause the gas to like backflow back out or something? Yeah. Okay. I wonder if they're gonna talk about that. Because kaboom, yeah, because the engine's running, and so it's a spark risk causing vapor fire. Okay. It's not actually illegal. Well, I can imagine maybe in certain states it might be, or maybe even certain like towns or counties, they might have local ordinances making it illegal. That's certainly a possibility.
Octane rating. Regular gas has an octane level of 87, while premium starts at 91 or higher. Higher ratings prevent premature detonation or knocking in high-performance engines. If your engine doesn't need higher octane fuel, it won't benefit from it. Modern cars are designed to run efficiently on the fuel recommended in their manual. And about the cleaning claim, it's just marketing fluff. All gasoline, whether regular, mid-grade, or premium, contains detergents to prevent carbon buildup. There's no magical cleaning power in premium fuel.
I did too.
If your engine needs cleaning, a professional service is the way to go, not a premium pump. Oil companies can't claim premium fuel improves performance in engines designed for regular fuel.
And by the way, the whole mid-grade thing is literally just a mix of regular octane and high octane. When you get like the mid-grade fuel, honestly, there's honestly no reason to have mid-grade fuel, but it is a mix of 87 and 90 octane fuels, because gas station storage tanks only take 3 inputs. They take the 87 octane fuel, they take the 90 octane fuel, and they take diesel fuel. There's no mid-grade fuel section of the tank. So what happens is they have lines coming off of the tank from the 87 and the 90s areas, and they basically they kind of like join them together into the 89 octane pump. So that's what 89 octane is. It's just a blend of 87 and 90 octane. Yeah, zip ties, I've heard the same myth. It's a lie. It doesn't clean the injectors. It doesn't do anything.
Instead, they market it as a cleaner option. But think about it. If regular
or is
gas
it not?
was dirty,
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
wouldn't
87,
every
90, and
older
93.
car
I'm
on the
getting my
road have
octanes mixed
clogged
up.
fuel lines and injectors? They don't. Myth number 5. Filling up in the morning saves money. You've probably heard this one before. Fill up your tank in the morning to save money. The idea is that cooler temperatures mean denser fuel, giving you more gas per dollar. Sounds smart, right?
What? What? This doesn't make sense. Nickname? Holy shit, nickname, thank you for the tier 3 6 months in advance. Holy shit, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are confused about the fuel parts? Yeah, it's the gas is stored in exactly, Kanito. It's stored underground and insulated from both heat and cold. It's not going to change the amount of fuel going into your tank, regardless of the time of day that you're fueling. Because if it was it's not like the fuel is going to be more dense. Yeah, they're saying more fuel in the liquid state than gaseous state, but the gaseous fuel is not going into the pump. The reasoning is unfortunately highly
It
flawed.
makes a lot more sense to fill. When is the hottest part of the day?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter what time of day. The tank is underground, insulated from both heat and cold. The piping that it comes from is at the bottom of the tank. The pipes going from the tank to the pumps are at the bottom of the tank. So the fumes are at the top of the tank, nowhere near the output pipes that the fuel goes through, that goes into, that leads out to the gas pumps. So there's no difference in density of fuel. There's no, you're getting more fumes than fuel. None of that. None of that works. None of that happens. It does not matter when you fuel up your tank. You're getting the same amount of fuel regardless of the time, regardless of the temperature. Because that's the way the storage tanks are designed. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Well, it's completely
Yeah,
wrong.
Kill King, that one
Gasoline
I will
at
give you.
fuel
You want the
stations
sediment
is
to settle.
stored underground. These tanks are buried deep enough that their temperature stays almost constant, no matter the time of day. Whether it's morning, noon, or night, the fuel you're pumping is the same temperature. In fact, pump meters are calibrated for a specific fuel temperature. This means you're getting the same fuel volume regardless of the time you fill up. There's no clever trick to game the system here. Now, if you're environmentally conscious, cooler mornings might still have one advantage. Cooler air reduces the chances of fuel vapors escaping into the atmosphere.
Okay, that's
But as far as
fair.
saving money, nope, no difference. What could cause problem is overfilling your tank with cool fuel and then letting your car sit in the sun. As the
This
fuel
it?
warms up, it expands. This can cause gas to overflow slightly, forming small puddles under your vehicle. Motorcyclists
no,
see this
Revan, it
issue
doesn't.
more often since
Octane in and of itself will not increase the horsepower on your vehicle. With the higher octanes, with premium cars have that already established increased horsepower, so they need the higher octanes in order for that normally based increased horsepower to function properly. That's why you need the higher octanes. Putting a higher octane gas into a normal vehicle is not going to do anything to increase horsepower at all, because it's not like the fuel itself is going to create higher horse. It's not like the fuel itself is going to override the capacity of your vehicle. The higher octanes is specifically because the cars designed to take higher octane have that, as people are putting in chat, you get the higher compression, higher horsepower, etc., etc. I don't think so. No. Everyone I've ever talked to, like, I've heard the myth, but I've also heard that it's a myth for a reason. The myth usually comes from people that are not actually like mechanics, and it doesn't actually do anything.
bike tanks are smaller and heat up faster. Fill up whenever it's convenient for you, and don't fall for this old myth. gas is gas, morning, noon, or night. Myth number 4. Driving on a low fuel tank destroys the engine. Some
it
drivers
doesn't.
believe running on a low fuel tank damages the engine. No, it doesn't. Engines don't care if the tank is full or nearly empty.
They're
They
gonna
only
do.
stop running when the tank runs completely dry. The
Eh,
concern often comes from the idea that low fuel causes dirt and debris to get sucked into the engine. However,
okay.
your fuel pump always pulls fuel from the bottom of the tank, regardless of how full it is. If dirt or water is in the
Yeah.
tank, it is pulled through the system, whether the tank is full or nearly empty. That's why fuel filters exist.
And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The whole concept of the sediment or the dirt that might be in your tank, and the fuel filter is gonna he got to it before I could. The fuel filter is gonna catch all that. Yeah, I'm sure many people have pulled up to a station on fumes, and it's your engine's fine. It's it'll still work just fine. This is stuff that's passed down. These myths are like stuff that's passed down through the generations by people that think they know stuff and they've never really looked into it or whatever. And that's where this comes from. They had like one incident once. They suspected it might have been from X, Y, or Z. They were never proven otherwise. Like they weren't actually told by the mechanic, oh, this is what actually caused it. Or you had a mechanic that didn't know what the fuck he or she was talking about and told them this bullshit, and they've just run with it.
They're
Yeah,
designed to catch debris
and this may have
before
stemmed
it
from
reaches
older
your
cars as
engine.
well, Revan. That's also
In
true.
present cars, these filters are highly effective at keeping contaminants out. Some newer cars don't have replaceable fuel filters because the system is so well designed. Another concern is overheating the fuel pump. Fuel pumps rely on surrounding fuel for cooling. When the tank is almost empty, the pump has less fuel around it to stay cool.
Eh.
Over time, consistently running on empty could shorten the pump's lifespan. However, modern fuel pumps are built to handle typical driving habits. Occasionally, driving with low fuel won't destroy your pump overnight. If a car's fuel system were so fragile that it failed from low fuel levels, it would be a design flaw. So,
This is true.
should you avoid running on fumes?
So,
Yes, but not because of dirt or engine damage. It's mostly about preventing unnecessary wear on your fuel pump and avoiding the hassle of running out of gas. Myth number 3.
yeah,
Big gas stations
yeah. It sounds like a lot. Yeah, I know. I saw that too, Kanito. That check engine light was on. I know. This is you guys are calling. These are probably myths from cars of old that have just been like I was saying, passed down through the generations that have not kept up with the changes in technology. And so the myths perpetuate because mostly, the people these myths are passed down to have never experienced the problems, so they go, "Oh, this must be correct," because they've never experienced anything counter to what they were always taught.
have better fuel. All gasoline, whether from a big name brand or a small station, has to meet the same government standards. At its core,
Wait,
malls
what
have
was this
better
again?
fuel. All gasoline, whether from a big name brand,
Is this a thing? That the big gas stations have the better gas? Is that really a thing that people believe? People swear by the gas brands. Like, okay, I will say, like, gas brands, like Shell Gas or, you know, I'll just do, I forget what gas stations are in the States now, but like, I'll just say Canadian. So like, Circle K or, Ungzing or Petro Canada, like, if you're talking about those specific brands of gas, sure. Like the small gas stations are getting their gas from one of these big companies. Yes, yes, Revan, Canada does have Circle K. It's Irving, the gas station is Irving, the convenience store part is Circle K. So that's where it is. But Husky, I believe Husky is a Canadian brand. Yes. So it's like this, the small gas stations are getting their gas from one of the big companies. So they're still getting the big gas station gas. It's just not it just doesn't have that kind of branding, but it's the same fucking gas. Now you could make the argument that one big oil company has better quality gas than the other. You could certainly make that argument. But when it comes to the small stations, they're still using the same gas from one of these companies.
And or a small station has to meet the same government standards. At its core, the fuel you get from Shell,
I'm sure there probably
Chevron,
is, gray
or
matter.
Joe's Budget gas is essentially the same. In most areas, gas comes from the same refineries. And here's a fun fact. You'll often see the same fuel truck delivering to multiple stations,
Oh,
no
yeah.
matter the logo on the sign. If the base fuel is the same, what's the difference? Additives. Big brands like
Is it?
Shell and Chevron add special blends to their fuel. These include detergents, lubricants, and corrosion inhibitors.
Lubricants. Chat, would you like to add some lubricant to your gas? Xanax, would you have it any other way? Chat, moisturize me. Moisturize me. Lubricate me, chat. Lubricate me. Chat. Lubricate me. I'm trying to maintain. I couldn't keep it up. It's too funny. I tried to keep it serious and sexy, but I'm sorry, that's just too funny. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna try and give you one for a good clip. Hang on. Chat. Lubricate me. Lubricate me, chat. Okay, there, I did it without laughing.
Now, while these additives can help keep your engine clean, let's be clear, they don't improve mileage or boost engine performance. Despite what the marketing says, no additive will give your car extra horsepower or magically save you money on fuel. They're mostly for maintenance.
They used to do that too. Okay. Did they not used to like advertise these like additives that you could buy at the gas station saying like, oh, this will make your car more fuel efficient, or it'll give you extra power in the engine, or that I don't know if they still do, but that used to be a thing. Do they still do it, Gray Matter? Okay, I wasn't sure if they still do. I know they used to. Like, STP, I think, was the biggest one for that. But really, Bobcat? That explains a lot.
performance. Even well-known additives like Techron don't make your engine run any better. Sure, you can buy Techron separately and add it to your tank. But don't expect a noticeable difference when you hit the gas pedal. Smaller stations might skip these branded additives to keep prices low. But that doesn't mean their fuel is low quality. It still meets the same legal standards. For everyday driving, gas is gas. Whether from a premium station or a discount stop, your car won't know the difference. So, don't stress about brand names. Focus on keeping your tank full and your engine well.
Jesus! Woman! What are you doing? What the fuck is this woman doing? Look at this! What the actual fuck is she doing here? Oh my god! She cares more about her nails than just peeing all over her car with the gas nozzle.
Your engine well maintained. Myth number 2. Fuel additives improve mileage
Here we
and
go.
engine performance.
Here we go.
Fuel additives
I just said
promise big results, better mileage, cleaner engines, and improved performance. But here's the reality.
Doesn't
Most
do
of
fuck.
these claims are overhyped. If additives truly delivered game-changing results, fuel companies would already include them in their gasoline. After all,
I'm gonna disagree about that part. If fuel additives improve the gasoline, like the gas mileage, like the claim is on the bottle, that the gas companies would add them to their existing gas, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. The gas companies specifically would not add them, so people would have to go fill up more, not less. So I'm gonna call bullshit on that statement. Not happy. Yeah, they want you to buy more fuel, not less. So no, I'm sorry. Hard disagree on that statement.
it would give them a massive marketing edge.
No, it
But
wouldn't.
they don't, because the benefits are minimal at best. Some additives claim to clean your fuel system: tank, lines, pump, and injectors. While they can help in certain situations, the improvements are often temporary. Plus, the cost of buying additives outweighs any minor fuel savings. Then, some additives promise to clean cylinders, pistons, and exhaust valves. These claims are even harder to prove. Real-world tests often show only marginal improvements. In most cases, you're paying for results you'll never notice. And let's not forget,
Notice that this is a dealer. Notice that this is a dealer doing this. Yeah, what happens when you take your car to the dealer for a repair?
paying for results you'll never notice. And let's not forget octane boosters. These are
Oh
some
yeah.
of the biggest offenders in the fuel additive market. They rarely deliver
This is the one that you guys probably have heard about, the octane boosters. Put 87 octane in your car and add the octane booster. It'll be like driving a 90 octane car, which is the same as driving your car.
market. They rarely deliver meaningful results, and performance gains are almost always exaggerated. That said, some well-known products like Seafoam can be useful. Occasionally, they help clean a neglected engine and prevent buildup. For most drivers, regular fuel maintenance, like using quality gas and changing filters, is far more effective than relying on additives. Don't expect miracles from a bottle.
Is it, Revan?
Most
I haven't heard
fuel
of it.
additives are just expensive snake oil. If your car is well maintained, you don't need them at all. Myth number 1. Shutting the engine off at a
Here we
stop
go.
saves gas.
Oh, okay, I did talk about this one earlier. I want to see what he has to say. Mythbusters did this. I'm going to wait to say what the results were until I hear what he says.
The idea that shutting off your engine at every stop saves gas comes from older car technology. Back in the carburetor days, starting an engine used much fuel, especially when cold. But modern fuel-injected engines are far more efficient. Today, starting a warm engine uses only a tiny bit more fuel than idling. However, idling still consumes fuel, so technically, turning off the engine does save gas. But is it worth it for short stops? Not really. For brief stops, like waiting at a traffic light, the savings are minimal. You'd need perfect timing to restart the engine just as the light turns.
Zip ties, mine don't. My car, I have a new vehicle. It's a 2024. My car doesn't do an auto stop. Mine just keeps on running like normal at a stop. Yours does? I think the auto stop may be, I don't know, like, okay, Kanito zip ties, do you have, like, I'll classify it as higher end models. Like, okay, what kind, what kind of vehicle is it, Zip Ties and Canito? Is it like, would it be considered a higher end? Really? Hyundai Elantra base model and a Honda CR-V. Really? Canito, considering you have a Hyundai Elantra base model and it doesn't? I'm surprised mine doesn't because the Kia is basically a Hyundai. So I'm really surprised mine doesn't do that. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna let him keep going because, again, Mythbusters did this.
Green. Plus, constant restarting adds wear to your starter motor and ignition switch. Both are mechanical parts that can fail over time. The real benefit comes during longer stops.
Yeah,
If
you're
stuck
correct,
at a railway
Canito.
crossing, in heavy traffic, or waiting for a drawbridge, turning off the engine makes sense. In these situations, fuel savings are more noticeable. Hybrids handle this dilemma much better. They have advanced starter systems designed for frequent engine restarts. These systems spin the engine at idle speed, unlike conventional starters, which crank it more slowly. For traditional cars, shutting off the engine at every brief stop is more hassle than it's worth. The fuel savings are tiny, and the risk of starter wear outweighs the benefit. If you're stopped for less than 30 seconds, let the engine idle. For longer waits, go ahead and turn it off. Don't stress too much. It's not a game-changing fuel hack. Smart driving habits and proper car maintenance will save you far more fuel in the long run. Fuel myths might sound believable, but falling for them can burn through your wallet and mess with your car. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button and
Chat. Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing in the bottom left of the screen? We just did 10 myths that people fall for regarding gas mileage. The first one was turn the fucking AC on, don't roll the windows down. You'll get better gas mileage. What does this say? 11 proven ways to get better gas mileage in your car. Turn the AC off. The fuck? Victor, I'm starting to question that. I am legitimately starting now. This could just be clickbaity thumbnail, and the video itself doesn't say that, but I just kind of find that funny that they had this thumbnail in this selectable video from their channel at the conclusion of this video. Yeah, it could be it very well could be content farming, Silver. Like how we're going like, wait, what?
watch the next video on 3 reasons for high fuel consumption and how to minimize them.
That's not the next video you just put. Okay, so
Obviously, the best way to save gas is those USB inserts.
Huh? USB inserts? What are you talking about? Okay, so getting back to the Mythbusters. So Mythbusters actually did the myth of that last one, of stopping your car, of turning your car off at the lights. Oh, electronic cars. Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that with USB inserts. So that the last one, stopping your car at every red light, like turning the car off. Mythbusters actually tested that. Now this was, I think the episode was like 20 years ago. I think so. This was a while ago. But they did a test. They filled up 2 cars. They drove or maybe they used the same car, but they full tank, and they drove it until literally the tank was drained. So they basically drove this car until the tank was drained, and they kept it running like all the lights. they kept it running, etc., etc. And they gauged the mileage. And then it wasn't only just turning the car off, but they did this thing like, turn the car off at every light, and when you're going down a hill, drop the car into neutral when you're going down a hill. And they did it. So like every stoplight, they'd turn the car off, wait for the green light, turn the car on, and then start going. And then whenever they did a downhill, they would shift into neutral and to coast down. Well, obviously they'd be using the brakes to modulate the speed on the downhill. But okay, guys, you're breaking the masquerade. Stop it. You don't want to get a blood hunt called on you guys, do you? Hush! Don't. That's rule 1. No violating the masquerade. And the end result of this test, the fuel hack type methodology, actually did get a notable difference in distance they were able to drive before the tank went dry. There was a notable difference. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It wasn't a tremendous amount of difference. You weren't getting a great amount of better fuel economy out of it, but you were getting some better fuel economy by doing that, turning the car off at lights, going into neutral when you go down hills. Like, it did work. I can't remember how much, but it did work. I think, if I'm remembering right. But like, there's probably a video of it. It's on YouTube or something. But Mythbusters actually worked on this myth. Yeah, like an extra half mile. That sounds about right, Andrea. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that sounds about right. Yeah, like I said, it was not by any stretch of the imagination a tremendous amount, but there was a notable small increase in the fuel economy by doing it. Enough to make it enough that it makes sense to do it? No. But there was a noticeable small increase.